Hello guys, welcome back to the video. Today is day 18 on the model farm. Also, obviously the nights are getting lighter now, so it might be a couple of bright blares at some points in the video. I do apologise for that. But obviously now we're becoming summer. It's not as dark, or it turns dark a lot later. So if there's any sort of glare from the window, I do apologise. Start off, nothing new, just got the defender parked up back there. Then they've moved, I guess, the scrap or spare bits they've had at the back of the shed at the other farm here. I assume that's a mesh off the front of a trailer, and I was right. That looks like mud guards, and you've got a pallet of stuff, exhaust, spoiler, A-frame or weight or something, and a jockey wheel off a cattle trailer or something. In the shed, not much. They've just switched around. The cattle trailer was closer to the feeder barrow, now it's the other end. That's all that's new there. Then we have our son, the 7740, the class brake on the back. He is, well, currently sitting in the cab. He's about to go and make himself a bit of money. So obviously, with the weather that we're having this week is all sun, so a lot of farmers are taking advantage of that, and so he's going to do a bit of raking for someone that he's obviously getting money for. As obviously he's put the sort of advertisement out there that he's got a free tractor and a free rake that he can help out. Obviously I imagine he'll have to pay his dad a bit, because obviously his dad's probably paying for the fuel and that. So, but yeah, he's heading off there, and to be fair, most of the jobs that get done are by the farmer's son, and I actually found out that he sort of is the only one involved. The farmer doesn't really get involved. He's the one who says, I've got a free tractor and a rake, and if anyone wants any raking, mowing, baling or whatever done, I could do that. So the farmer just pays for the fuel really, and the maintenance of the kit. So he's, fair play to him, putting himself out there. And obviously with the lawnmower he does the same thing. So hopefully the rake will be out in our the field here at some point. T6080 parked up. Don't know when the new one's coming, but looks like she's going to be here for the first cut. Then got the quad and lawnmower very close together. The bale wrap there, they're thinking of getting a new brand or getting a lot more, because 4 obviously isn't enough. But they say the boxes are too big for the front of the wrapper, so they need to get smaller ones so they all fit, because they can only fit about 3 on there anyway, but they can only fit 2 because those boxes are so big, so they need to try and get smaller ones to fit on it. So yeah, you just keep the other one in the tractor, I guess. Kit powered up, hopefully will be out in the next couple of weeks, as they're collecting dust, as you can see on the tyres of the rake there. Nothing new in the shed, although the 7530 has got a number plate on it, which he didn't have before. So that's new. So now she can legally go on the road. So she's not been allowed to go on the road until she had a plate. So they got that sorted, so now she's allowed to go on the road, because the previous owners took it off. Because, when they used it, it never really went on the road, so there was no need for a plate. So, there was a need for the plate, but obviously if you don't go to the farm, you're not going to know it doesn't have a plate, so, yeah. So they were told when they bought it they need to put a plate on it, because obviously, 1, tax, and 2, you can't go on the road. So, it's an interesting one to the rest of them. It's a square number plate, where the others are just the sort of rectangle ones. So that's all done up now. All that I know of anyway. And we got a couple of bags of fert that have been delivered, that will go in front of the 7530 at some point. But for now, that is there. Sheet trailer, yard scoop had been moved in here just because I needed to fill up the shed. Keenan's still there. Mini digger's parked there now. I stood at the back of the shed there. Nothing new in the pit. Obviously got the tyres there. Nothing new here really. Just got the double burst to move and a couple of fence posts off the other farm that are on the low loader. Then we have the main man himself, the farmer in the 3400 trailer. Now, obviously, I think I did say when they were hedge cutting that they found something in the hedge cutter. Sounded like one of the blades clipped a bit of metal in the hedge. So what they've done is they've sort of found a bonnet that was sort of half in the hedge and half in the ground. It was literally up until where the stickers are, you can see the line was literally in the ground. So luckily the whole thing wasn't above the ground, otherwise it probably would have destroyed the hedge cutter quite a bit, but it just clipped the front of it there, because obviously that was the only bit that was sticking out. So I don't know how long it's been there, if half of it's buried in the ground and half of it's covered by the hedge, but they thought they'd get it out just before well, they hit it again, but now it's left quite a big hole in the hedge, which isn't a bad thing because it's on the outside, not the inside. But they don't know if there's a little gap that lambs can get through, so they just need to keep an eye on it. And they're going to try and keep the tyres there, just so if the lamb does get through, it can't get any further because it'll see the tyres and hopefully think it's stuck. So that is hopefully the plan. But as you can see, you can go easily under the hedge if you will lamb. So they've got that out, and well, I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I guess they've got themselves a bonnet. But I'm thinking of it's quite clean, considering. But if you think about it, it's been buried by the hedge, so it's not going to get that dirty. If anything, it's going to get mossy. But yeah, on the inside of the bonnet, I think is this sort of kicked in mud and leaves. But yeah, so he's just pulling that out there. We've got the ewes and lambs. I think it's next month the lambs will be weaned off, and same with the calves. So the fields will be quite empty. Now I spoke to the farmer, and I believe his first cut is going to be the end of May. So literally first cut, and then the lambs and calves will be weaned off, and then silage or something like that. All within a 2-week period, I imagine. But obviously the lambs and calves go to the other farm until they get sold on. So yeah, and it'll just be a bit empty in the fields, which is good because then there should be a bit more grass when you come tomorrow. Then coming down the main road here, heading out of the town, got a lovely, very nice looking class 640 Arian with an Abbey side fling muck spreader. Not too sure what you call it, but not usual muck spreader. But a very nice looking class, if not one of the best looking classes. And I'm not really a class man, but just like the look of it. So I think he's given that a well-deserved wash, the both of them. As I imagine, well, he's been spreading muck while he can, while the ground is dry, and then obviously probably onto the sides and that. Yeah, very nice muck spread. Obviously not your usual one, especially not an Abbey. I don't think I've seen an Abbey around here, so I've only seen NC, a Samsung, obviously the Farms one, which is a Marshall. So nice to see something a bit different. And yeah, there's the inside there, and obviously goes through that chute there. Then we've got the farmer here making quite an appearance this year. He's just parked on the side of the road there, and he's just checking the ground, see if it's ready to, or dry enough to cut, ready for bales or whatever he's doing with it. Then we have Case Puma 195 roaring down the road with a cane grain trailer, but he has bales in it. But we won't question it. They're the last year's bales, that he kind of forgot to use, or well, just didn't get the chance to use. So he's probably going to go and dump them at a yard or take them to a pig farm or something out of the way. As you can see, a couple of them are collapsing, so they're quite old. I'd like to say last year to make room for this year, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, he's just heading down the road there. Nice to see a case knocking about as well. Then obviously the field where the silage goes on will, like I said, will be in a couple of weeks, probably 3 or 4 weeks, because obviously it'll be after the baling. But I'm pretty sure it's either early June or late May. It's a lot later than they normally do. They normally start in May, but what happened last year is they finished in August and they barely had anything to do. So what they wanted to do was do it a bit earlier, so the end of the summer is the last cut of bales and silage, because a lot of people sort of stopped asking after about the first couple of weeks in August, so they needed something to do. And I feel like silage is just very sort of, it's a nice thing during the summer for farmers. So you know, you don't want the summer to end, so you don't want silage to end. So yeah, they're leaving a bit longer this year. I don't know if they'll do a free cut to silage though. The farmer's saying he might have to do 2 cuts of bales, just because of just the price of things. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so to you guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'm back.